Hello, Sladies, families. Hope that you're doing well wherever you are, whenever you watch this video. It's always great when you come upon those moments, typically happens in school, maybe in sports, where you've been studying something for a while, whether it's a zone defense or calculus or history or English, and something that you've been kind of struggling with finally makes sense. And you have that aha moment, in the cartoons when the little light bulb goes off. Wait, kids don't watch cartoons anymore. I'm old. But that moment that you have where everything sort of makes sense and you get it, and that feels really good, right? And then especially sometimes down the road when someone else isn't getting it and you act like, oh man, that's so easy. I knew that. Well, the disciples didn't have any of those moments. As we've been following this story in Mark, they just don't have those moments. One commentator I read called them the disciples. And I was like, that's pretty clever. I think I'm going to use that. And in today's lesson from Mark, the disciples really earn their name because, like a toddler that you keep having to tell the same things to over and over and over again for them to get it, the disciples just don't understand what it means to follow Jesus and the type of kingdom that he's trying to build. You see, Jesus has been talking over and over again about what it means to live as a follower of Jesus and how that changes our values from what the culture teaches us to something that's radically different. So when James and John pull Jesus aside and ask him if he will do something for them, it sets the stage for this lesson where Jesus tells them, what do you want? And they say, we want to be in the top places when you come into your kingdom. When your glory happens, we want to be at the top. We want to be on the stage with you, in that limelight, in that basking of the glory that you're going to have. We want to be a part of that, and we want to be up there on the stage with you. And Jesus has been talking about this whole time how he's going to Jerusalem to suffer and die. And so he asked the two disciples, are you good with that? Are you going to drink the cup that I drink and take the baptism that I will? And by that, he means pain and suffering and death. And they very arrogantly say, we've got it. And Jesus says, it's not really mine to give. And it's prepared for some others. And the other disciples hear about this, of course, and they start arguing. And they all start to get angry with each other because here we again have some disciples trying to figure out who is the best. We just talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Who is the greatest, right? Now we're back at it again. And Jesus huddles them up and, like a patient coach trying to work with his team on something, he tells them that to be a leader is to be a servant, that the Son of Man, Jesus, came not to be served, but to serve. Now, we've taken this phrase and it's kind of made its way into the lexicon of leadership books and things we talk about that you'll hear from coaches and teachers and business consultants about servant leadership. Now, servant leadership, as we understand it, tends to come across as I'm going to serve by being the leader. And somehow that's a terrible burden. And sometimes it can be. I mean, we're honest, being a leader can be tough sometimes. But what Jesus, I feel, is saying here is that it's not about serving by being a leader. It's being a leader by serving. And those are two very different things. It's not about gaining the position so that you can put that on a resume or a college application. It's about serving so much that people see you as a leader. It's about doing the gritty behind the scenes work. It's about doing work that comes from a heart that cares for others like Jesus did, rather than seeking a position that then we can have. I hope that makes sense. It's a different perspective on how to influence, on how to be someone who influences the world. And I think many of us, myself included, fall prey to the temptation that if I can just get a certain position or a certain place on the team or a certain student council leadership thing, that I can influence people. And really what Jesus is saying here is you influence people by doing the servant's jobs, by doing the least things, by being the person who stays late to put up chairs, by being the person who cleans the tables, by being the person who does all of the little small things that no one sees. That would be a servant's job normally, not the leader's job. The leader stands up in front of everyone and is seen and then goes home. The servant stays after and helps. So I think it's a gut check, a heart check to us who follow Jesus. Why do we do the things we do? Do we do them for ourselves, or do we do them for others? Do we do them out of a desire to have that check mark of the things that we have done? Or do we do it because we genuinely love and care for others? Because that's what it means to bring in the kingdom. That's what it means to follow Jesus. That's what it means to do what Jesus did. Now, certainly through that path, resurrection comes and glory comes and all of the great things happen. But we have to go through that. That's the path to it. That's not the path that we want to take, but that's the path to true greatness. And sometimes that greatness is never seen except by a few. But I can guarantee you, when it is seen by a few, it's remembered forever by those few who see it. If we truly serve from the goodness of our heart, people will see that through all the small things that we do, through all the generous acts of love that we show, because Jesus has loved us and we spread that love to others. Thank you for listening today. Hope that you are blessed. Know that you are loved. We will talk to you soon.